Views and opinions expressed on this show belong solely to the hosts and their guests and do not reflect the views of any outside institutions unless explicitly stated. What's going on, Canna Fam? Welcome back to Cannabis Cum Laude's A Closer Look at Community. My name is Justin Closser, and my goal is to help provide a platform for the members of the local cannabis community to share what they're working on. The hope is to allow them to build their brand and expose you listeners to a larger variety of products and services. In this effort, I believe we'll be able to build a network in which we can all support each other and grow as a community. The plan is to release an episode every Wednesday. In addition, on the first Wednesday of every month, we're going to hold a community hangout virtually in collaboration with Tommy Potseed that we're going to attempt to record as well. Also, we started a Discord server called Cum Laude Community Hangout. This is a great place for members of the community to chat, ask questions, interact with each other without the fear that Mark Zuckerberg's going to put you in timeout. So without further ado, elevate your state of mind and enjoy the show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Cannabis Cum Laude's A Closer Look at Community. This week we got Tommy Potseed joining us. I was fortunate enough to be able to drop by his house and actually join him in his studio. So, yeah, here we are. Tommy, how you doing today?
What's going on, guys? I'm doing good, man. I really appreciate you having me on. It's cool, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, guys, I got to tell you right ahead of time, if you see me looking over here, it's just really kind of awkward to look at the camera and have a conversation with somebody that's sitting next to you when you can just look at them. So that's probably going to happen occasionally. Just a forewarning. But today we're going to get into all about Tommy Potseed, his reviews, some of the other things that he has going on, and yeah. That's it.
Man. I appreciate it.
First and foremost, what I want to talk about, Tom, is what inspired you to start... Actually, you know what? Back it up a little bit. Before we get into it too much, tell me a little bit about your show. What's the premise? What's it do? Let all of our loving listeners hear it from your mouth.
All right. So the main idea of what I do, I go around our local area. We're in western upstate New York, and I pick up any type of flower, oil, edibles. If I can get lit, I'll grab it, and then I get on my show. I pull it out. I take some in-depth pictures. I tell everybody what I personally think about it, being a fairly seasoned veteran in the field of cannabis. But yeah, I just try to be honest. I try to put it out there, and I think the biggest message that I try to push is, the quality in this area needs to increase, and I think that can happen with the help of just local New Yorkers being able to do their thing. And, the market values, as I like to refer to them, need to drop, because I don't feel there's a fair equation in that, but we do what we can, we do what we can.
Yeah, I hear that, especially when you get into some of these legal markets, like when we went back to Maine, and we were able to just get dank for, there was a legal market, it was $200 for an ounce, and it was amazing. Granted, that was show pricing, but that's really where it should be, right? Your top shelf bud should not, in my opinion, be more than $10 a gram.
Yeah.
I personally know what can be produced on a cultivation scale, and I know my standards as far as if I wanted to let go of something, what I think is reasonable, and what I would feel good about or what I wouldn't feel good about.
Right.
And I don't know, man, if you get over 280, that's just crazy, especially on an ounce scale, right?
Well,
$10 a gram when you're at lower prices, or lower amounts all day.
You think back to those old days. Okay, when I first started getting into the scene back in the 90s, The market was okay. You had like 2, 3 different variations of bud you could get. You had your swag, brickweed, just that bottom barrel. Then you had like, beastery type stuff. We called it beasters back then because it was just like wasn't super dank. But it was nice, no seeds. It was always little popcorn nugs. And then you had headies. But the big thing about these things is typically at first in the market they were all the same price. It didn't matter who you were getting what from. Like, you actually just gave them the money. They gave you your bud. Sometimes it was out of this world good. And, like, there was no discernment due to quality.
You got what you got.
Yeah, man. I was so stoked for those days, and then I watched it change.
I remember I used to work at a sub shop called DeBella's. I mean, everybody knows DeBella's, but, like, I used to work at DeBella's, and there was a kid I worked with that whenever somebody walked in the door that looked like they were part of the community, if it were, he'd just be like, "I got heady nuggets!"
That's great.
Oh, man, it was a beautiful thing.
I remember those days, though. They were great because, like, you didn't have to worry about, spending money on weed. Like, nobody really worried about the money that was involved. They worried, okay, how much am I going to need? It was like, I might need an eighth for the weekend, or, back even before that, you're talking a nickel for 35 that was just like 3 fingers of the bag. It just so many different ways that the market has turned, and now we're at this point that people are starting, in my opinion, get a little greedy, and they're like seeing an opportunity to really get in there. But the big thing that people need to remember, I think, the legal market will take shape after what the black market is. So the more you do this, the legal market's going to be the same way, in my opinion. But because if people can get it cheaper, they'll get it cheaper. But if the legal market, just matches the black, and you can just go to a store.
Maybe it's smart then.
Yeah, I mean, but that's
maybe
what I'm
it's
saying.
smart for them to jack up the prices so the legal market goes high, and then they can undercut.
Yeah, I mean, if they do though, because then they're probably just going to jack it again. You know what I mean? I just see a downward spiral, and it's upsetting, and I can't wait to see the paradigm change, which with legalization, I feel that's going to change everything, man.
I'm not confident in New York legal bud. With the standards I've seen coming out of some of these MSOs, I'm not confident in what's going to happen, because I've heard that there is ridiculous microbial testing, like the strictest standard across the country, which is fine, but like there's good microbes too. I get you're trying to be safe, but like, what if you're using mycorrhiza, or what if you're using some bacillus products in there, bacillus subtilis or something of that nature, to like help promote the root zone? If some of that ends up from your product, gets dripped on your leaf or something, like, and that ends up coming up as a microbial contaminant, like, now you're failing. I don't know. Not that I don't want things to be safe, but like,
so there's
I feel like these tests need to be more sophisticated.
Yeah, like right now I know the New York standard versus other states that I've heard of that are legal. The main standard of testing is that they will take bacterial culture, and in our state, if you get more than 5 colonies in a petri dish, it's no bueno. But in other states, it's 100, or sometimes even more. So, I know that things are that way now, but for me, it's not even the legal market itself that excites me. It's the people that are starting to come out of the woodwork now that everybody doesn't have to be so scared, so worried all the time, and then all the places you can buy things. So I'm seeing a whole bunch of people come out with crazy stuff now. And just recently, in one of my most recent videos, I got very lucky through connections of getting 5 strains that they rocked my world, man. They really changed the paradigm. They were locally grown strains. I mean, even before that, I can think of some locally grown strains that have knocked my socks off in this area, not just in current days from people that I know, but even back in the day. Like, there was a strain called Lita Una. I have never seen it since, and when I got it, to be completely honest, it had seeds galore because it had to herm out at the end. But before it had hermed out, they were growing some amazing stuff that the terpene profiles I fell in love with, and I haven't seen them since. So it's these backwoods people that are going to start coming out a little more, being able to grow a little more, being able to do a little more. It's going to be like a whole new scene, and I'm so excited for it in New York. Like, we need it so bad.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of want to get into kind of like how you come across your product. You know what I mean? So like,
okay.
What is the process for that? Is it like, can people?
So here's.
Can people just hit you up and
sort
get their
of
stuff reviewed?
Sort
we were
of.
talking about taking it maybe. Not we, like we were talking about taking it together, but
Yeah.
we were talking about you potentially taking it in a little more formal direction even, which I think is a really cool idea. And if anybody's willing to do this, I think you should hit them up. Of maybe them like coming on and being on your show with you.
That's
and, like,
actually the plan.
talking about their product, saying what it is.
So I have a couple people in the works right now that I'm talking with because, you know, things were new, people are scared. I have some friends that won't even come on the show, period, because of the image it may convey, which I'm a little bit less worried about that, but I do not blame anybody for wanting to live their life the way they want to live it. So more power to them. I have no problems whatsoever. But I do have a couple people who are starting to actually be more forthcoming, and I may actually have some guests coming on soon that are operating local. Some of them, I have been informed, are now legit businesses. Some of them, it's a tricky thing. But the people that get in touch with me, so right now it's been my normal path of channels at first, where I would just talk to the people I already knew and grab things like I normally would when I could. And then as time's gone on, I've started to see more of this market starting to open up for donation concentric businesses. And when you see these things, they have menus that are just insane. And some of these people have actually gotten in touch with me, met with me. I've chatted with them. I've met some really cool people. They've dropped off strains, and, you know, I have a process. Now, the new video format I take is a little bit more quick and not, I would say, as lengthy in its information, but it's more entertainment based. My older format was more information based, and I'm trying to develop in a way where I can combine all that to be able to have the most information possible in the most entertaining ways. And one of these things, bring people in that are actually running these, you know, donation-based businesses, whatever they call them. It's hard for me to get a base on that. I just know names of them, which I put them out when they want. With the one that I did an episode about, Loud Cloud, that they were cool. But I'm starting to actually have people come out of the woodwork where I don't even know who some of them are, and they're giving me things to try. I don't know what they think of my videos, anything like that. So it's really weird that way, where things come out of the shadows, from whom I refer mystery growers, and they give me these incredible things. Like, I've had 2 mystery growers, both people grew these amazing things that made the public market look kind of like a joke, to be completely honest. So
sometimes it be like that, as one of my good friends says.
Yeah, like, I mean, right now I've got some apple fritter that we're going to be getting down on that was given to me, and that's the cool thing. Like, most often I get a tiny amount. Like, it could be one little nug, it could be all the way up to like 1/8 of a nug. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. So these things just come across my path, and right now I have some leftovers that we will be getting into. And I mean, I want to definitely see what Justin here thinks of it, because I'm always self-conscious about my ratings, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if people agree, disagree, or if I'm close, or if our palates are completely different, you know. there's this whole world out there. But my thing is, I'm as honest as I can be about it from my standpoint.
I'm a tough critic sometimes,
I,
so we'll see how that goes. So I am also super excited to try that apple fritter. I was fortunate enough to get to pick up a little bit of the San Fernando Valley OG that you had. That was pretty good. It looks beautiful.
oh yeah.
It smells beautiful. Tastes pretty good. A little bit of a back end on it that I wasn't a hugest fan
Exactly
of.
at the end, right? When
Yeah.
it was so strange to me.
It was, but what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? So, are you open to, like, audience suggestions? Like, I feel
Always.
I feel like that is something that I would love. Like, I personally welcome audience suggestions. If there's anything you want to see,
Always.
anything you want to hear, please let us know. We're literally out here trying to entertain you people.
Smell that.
And I think I snorted some. Anyway.
He might have.
Um,
That's not bad, huh?
It doesn't smell like apples, but it smells great.
Yeah.
Especially when it
apples.
lingers up in there a little bit, you know what I'm
Like,
saying?
To me, that's got more of a fuely smell than the other stuff that we had earlier.
I get like a cheese on it.
That
I say
too.
that about a lot of things.
Yeah, you do, for
I
sure.
love cheese. I just think I associate cheese with weed, I think. Good weed smells like cheese.
I've had a lot of my favorite terpene profiles are like citrus, pine, skunk, and I know this goes against a lot of other people's, but that cat pissy stuff. But yeah, I love citrus.
I was just saying on the episode with Logan that the one that just came out, that limonene is my favorite terp.
Oh yeah.
It gives me a nice uppy but delicious flavor, and it like persists. That's one of the few that persists no matter how long you're holding on to your jar, right? It's like, it's just there. It's good. It's gold.
It's like a clean. I love it.
Okay, so where do you want people to hit you up if they want to showcase a product, if they're gonna come and try and come on the show?
If anybody wants to get in touch with me, obviously you can hit me up at tommypotseed@gmail.com. But I also cover most social media platforms. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I'll have all the information down below, or I'll give it to Justin to put it down below in his show's description. So if you guys want to get in touch with me, just hit me up on those platforms. Tell me where you're hitting me up from and give me a little information. Just because there's a lot of people hitting me up on all these things that aren't trying to do anything serious. So, but... Yeah,
absolutely. So I'm gonna put him on the spot here because he mentioned to me briefly that he was thinking about reconsidering doing something that he's been talking about doing, and so I'm gonna just go ahead and put it out here on the video, and if he wants to punch me in the face after, we can just delete it. So Tom has been trying to organize a get-together for the East Siders, right? Like, we're talking the far East Siders, the 315ers, the Seneca County people, Ontario. What county are you?
Wayne
County people. Is Ontario close, or am I thinking of a different one?
Ontario's close.
I always mix it up because Ontario County doesn't actually have Ontario in it.
Ontario's very close.
Yeah, Ontario's not in Ontario County, though, I don't think.
No, it's not.
It's so
Wayne,
weird.
I'm pretty
Anyway,
sure. Yeah.
So for the East Siders, Tom was planning on doing a little 710 event because there's some people who've got kids, maybe can't travel far. Some people who simply don't have the means or ability to travel far, and something a little more local might be more convenient. And so since that is the case for many people, we're seeming to find out, Tom wanted to try and do something to kind of help all those people out. So why don't you talk about that a little bit?
So the idea is, and I know it's kind of short term, but for all of us 315ers who just can't get to the city and then Sadly, we can't make it to that one that's all the way out past Brockport or whatever that our buddy Logan's putting on. We hoping nothing but success.
Yes, please, if you're in the city on the west side and like it's not a competition, please just have a fun day, take part in the community, do what you got to do. Yeah. I don't honestly even know what I'm going to be able to do that day. But
the big hope is I'm going to be able to put on a little barbecue type of thing. You know, it's not going to be anything too crazy, but it's going to have some music, some food, we'll chill. Just if you guys want to participate, you know, hit me up anywhere you want to hit me up and let me know, you know, I'm from here and I'd like to come to the 710 deal. If we can actually get it going, you know, I'll actually start making some more public stuff about it. At the moment, I haven't had much interest, so that's why I haven't put much out about it. And then Logan...
you got to put it out to get interest.
Well, I talked to a lot of people about it, and they were just like, I don't know, maybe. And I was like, okay, so we'll see. But hit me up anywhere. You guys want to take part in it, I'll have something kicking no matter what. I mean, it's 710. I'll have something kicking no matter what. And we can always make it bigger to accommodate, I'm sure. So if you want to swing through, yeah, come dab out with me, come smoke with me, and hopefully, if possible, we can have Justin come out too, and you guys can meet him too.
That's a point I wanted to make too, man. Every time I come to Tommy Potseed's house, he gets me lit. Lit. And I mean, like...
We're talking a high tolerance dude
to the
here.
extent that I get lit, right? But, like, never a bad time. And... yes, I will always do my part to try and contribute because I'm like that. But never once has he ever asked me to. But it's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make sure that's clear. But, like, if you're coming to hang out with him and you're willing to make a trip out and come hang out with him because he's busy and can't always get out on the road, he's willing to make it worth your while. You know what I mean? And, like, come hop on the episode. You know what I mean? Like, it will be fun.
Spread that love, spread that positivity. Always try to be there for the people that, you know, might need it, because that day might just be dead meat for somebody that they're just sitting around not doing nothing because they don't know, and they're like right there in Williamson or something, and it's like, come by, hit me up. Like, if you're that close, maybe I can even swing by and grab you quick enough if I can. But, you know, we'll have some fun that day. I can promise you that. And I'm all about just trying to spread the smiles, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So what else is new in the life of Tommy Potseed?
Oh man, I've been a busy boy. I have a new baby, which has just been, you know, as any new parent knows, it's a lot of work and a lot of settling into that groove, but I'm getting there. You know, gotta do everything right, always keeping an eye out. And, I mean, I have a lot of plant projects that I always have going on, veggies and flowers. I mean, it's honestly just like a real busy point in time for me right now, and the show's just picking up. I've got a lot of people hitting me up, a lot of strains that are still coming up. I have episodes backlog that I want to do that I haven't had time to do. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and I just, the whole thing I want is for people to hopefully gain something from it and enjoy it.
Absolutely. I personally find your reviews very entertaining. I like that you bring a little bit of comedy to them, as well as also making sure you do a good job of really kind of being like a sommelier, right? Like you're
try to be a regular man sommelier type of thing.
Well, yeah,
you know what
I mean, you don't have your nose to the air or anything like that,
yeah, but like I'm trying to be
you
real.
do a good job of giving it an evaluation. For the most part, stay unbiased. I'm just kidding.
For the most part.
I mean, and the only reason I say that is because, like, when you look at really dank bud, sometimes it gets your vibe up, right? But at the end of the day, that's still part of the whole experience. So
exactly. See, for me, the whole rating system that I follow, I feel this is important for me to talk about too, and I haven't really dived into it on my channel at all.
Talk about your ratings.
So, I have a 7-leaf system right now with a golden leaf that just got added on due to the 2 mystery growers because they rocked my socks. And sadly, the first one, I just wasn't thinking hard enough to be able to do that and figured I'd have to do some major editing to make it happen. But yeah, I have had to revise. And the big thing about my rating system is it's not strictly just based on the quality of the weed itself and stuff like that. For me, there's an experience factor, there's a market value. It's like, do they deliver it to me, or do I have to go run across the city to get it or something? You know, like, there's all these factors that come into play that will actually affect that leaf system other than just its smokability. But I am thinking about doing some sort of online list where I can say what I think each one in quality is for my personal taste. May not be the same for everybody, so don't everybody hate me for that.
So I think you should make like a
apple fritter.
Oh, thanks, brother. I think you should make a why can't I think of the word? Not a questionnaire, but you know what I'm saying? Like
like a normal,
like a spreadsheet, you know?
Oh,
but like
yeah.
not necessarily a spreadsheet, like a list of attributes and then a 1 through 10 rating, right?
Okay.
Like my brain can't come up with that word that I'm talking about, but like an
evaluation,
survey
or an evaluation, yeah, something
exactly.
like that. So yeah,
then you have like a list of standardized things you almost put to a number scale. It sucks to put things on a numerical scale because it's such a like, this is super potent and dank, but like, I don't love the terpene personally. Yeah. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's hard to rank, but like,
that's why
it would be helpful. I think it would be a good tool.
See, that's why I always avoided the number system, because what some numbers do for me don't do for other people. And I think that my leaf rating system is just kind of a cute thing, you know, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But
I think it's a good idea.
To be totally real, like, yeah, there's no way to say which weed's going to be the best weed. Like, this is the best weed for me. Like, that's going to end up being, at the end of the day, a list for me, which means every single one of my fans, listeners, whatever you want to call yourselves, my friends, my friendly stoners, you know what I mean? So, for all you people that want to, like, have some sort of list like that to rely on, it's like, you could just do it with me right along with your own weeds. Like,
Who
you know, you have your own list. All my friends, man, all the stoners out there. So
what do you mean, you people?
You just have like a list, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have your own list where you have your own weeds. That's, for me in the beginning, I was keeping a regular notebook and my process was far more involved, but the new format's kind of faster and kind of more real time. So
I'd like to see you do a mix between those two.
It's like, yeah, I just need a hint
double
more
review.
product.
A double review. I think in order to get your product reviewed, you got to give Tommy 2 grams, or you know what I mean? I think 2 grams is enough for 2 sessions.
Like, yeah, but the big thing is that there's going to be like an initial photo session, which will happen with the pictures, so that I can get those real nice pictures. And then when I go into the live episode, I will have had to have already broken some off and stuff like that. So we'll be looking at a tampered sample, we'll call it, when I go into the episode at that point. So I'm cool with that, so that the pictures look exactly like it. But then when we go in, I'll be able to do that.
Why don't they give you a photo nug and then like a little, here's your smoke nug? You know what I mean?
Like, that's usually the best way to do it, because what I try to do is separate that too throughout the day, where it's like, I'll get up in the morning and that first morning buzz, I'll do a review on one of those nugs. And then like later that night, after like I've taken care of my stuff for the day, had a nap or something like that, I'll, you know, get up fresh and
you could call it the full Potseed. Alright, this grower's getting the full Potseed review.
Yep. I mean, I want to do that for everybody, you know. I don't want I want everybody to be able to be afforded the same opportunities when I do this, because I want to make sure everybody feels like they've had a fair run, you know. Like, I don't want anybody to feel cheated, like, why didn't you test for that? Why does that picture look like that or something? It's like, I just want everybody to be able to see everything and be like, okay, he gave it, a fair deal, which I've had a 3 out of 7 leaf before. So I've had to be brutally honest at points, and then at the same time, I've had golden leaves and 7 out of 7s and stuff like that. So
yeah, he's not scared of being honest, that's for sure.
No.
But what I'm just saying, like, you get the full pot seed if you provide enough product for the full pot seed. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? Like, that's it. If you give enough, you get the
it doesn't take
the
much.
preview smoke and the on the show smoke eval.
To be fair, that last 5-strain episode, like, the amount that I got from him was awesome. It's
plenty.
hilarious how they were all single nugs, though, because it was like, I don't want to break anything off of this before the episode because it's too beautiful.
He wanted to make them pretty.
Oh, yeah, so, like, but yeah, they were awesome, and I felt awful having to, like, do things to them kind of out of camera view. This new format's taking me getting used to as well. Like, I have to do things in a different way. Sometimes I'll forget the mic or scope, and I'll have to go back a little bit. Anybody that watched the last one's going to get that. Oh, God.
Hey, you know what I mean? We're all human, and whether you're an expert or not, until you're into a 100% rhythm, and it's just like,
it's been
bang,
fun.
bang, bang. This is what I do, and it's muscle memory.
Yeah.
There's gonna be hiccups, you know what I mean? And like, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
And
but
what matters
fun,
is that
man.
you just push through and don't let those hiccups beat you up. That's for everybody. Just push through. Don't let your hiccups beat you up.
For real. Like, that's the thing. We need to celebrate our failures in a way that we get to the, successes. People need to be able to learn from mistakes and not feel ashamed of that. It's like everybody makes mistakes all the time, every day. You can't be perfect all the time. Nobody's perfect. It's just not how it is. And, you get to those successes through those mistakes. You learn things from those mistakes, like things not to do, things not to say, things to do, things to say, different stuff. So it's I'm just having a lot of fun right now trying to, balance life and still have fun with the reviews and stuff like that. I have to keep an eye on the time frame. Like, it can get away from you, and there's a lot involved that you don't foresee when you first begin, because you're not just reviewing cannabis strains, you're also editing videos and trying to figure out, where do I take pictures, where do I take these videos, stuff like that. So, like, it's a lot.
We should do the next show on that, getting into podcasting, the unforeseen woes.
I mean, there is a lot. I mean, even now, you've gotten into
it's
doing
brutal,
a lot,
bro.
man.
It's brutal. Even when you're not producing your own, there's things that happen that people don't think about.
Yeah.
There's so much. We should just do one just for S's and L's, and, or S's and G's, shits and giggles.
Oh, for sure.
I'll just say it's my show. We're 21 and up. I can say shit. I think I said the F word on the last one.
We can literally do pretty much anything we want. We're smoking weed,
speech.
Right? We're smoking
it's
some
legal
apple
to smoke
fritter.
weed.
Oh wait, which one of these is apple fritter?
I guess it's legal to swear too.
How the hell high am I that I have so much shit in front of me and I can't figure out which one is the apple fritter?
That's from smoking that diesel, yo. That diesel punching the D, man. Earlier we smoked this sour diesel, which it really didn't taste like diesel at all. But
it hit like it a little bit.
Punched me right out. We literally smoked one bowl, and I got a tolerance through the roof. I've talked about this on the show a million times. Smoked one bowl, and after like a half hour, I looked at Tom and I said, "Dude, I am ripped."
Same.
And he was like, "Yeah, that shit worked, man."
Like, for me, at first, I was like, "Nope, it doesn't smell the same." And then we smoked some, and I was like, "Nope, doesn't taste the same, but it feels like it's gonna hit." And then, right when he was saying that, I was thinking to myself, God dang, am I high? I was so ripped. Oh, man. But, yeah, didn't taste the same or smell the same, but it hit hard. I don't know if I'd say it was the same hit, but it was a heavy...
It didn't taste like diesel at all. Didn't smell like it, didn't taste like it. I don't really know what it tasted like. We both said... Tom's used his word muted like he likes to use. I agree, it was a very mild taste. there was not a whole lot to it. But it's been sitting since Beanstalk, so...
Yeah, in a jar. It still seemed a little bit fresh, kind of, but, you know, something sitting in a jar for that long. Yeah.
Lit. I was lit.
Super lit.
Anywho, check out or hit up Tom for the 710 event. Check out his show. Keep checking out our show, as you obviously do.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And elevate your state of mind, people.
And stay high, my friends.
Thanks everyone for joining us on another adventure as we take a closer look at community. This week we were with Tommy Potseed. You guys know him, you love him, and if you don't, you better go check him out. Also, before we sign off, I don't want you to forget about the first Wednesdays. We're going to be having the Smoke Circle. That's going to be starting next week, 8 o'clock sharp. Be there or be square.